thanks so much, Chris, for the invitation and for dinner this evening. It was wonderful. Having some nice local pickerel at a local restaurant, and I'm sure I'll be at another local restaurant later this evening enjoying a pint with my hockey buddies, because it's Wednesday night, got to play hockey. I didn't go to UG, but I do live in Guelph, so that's the most important thing. I actually did my undergrad in biology with a focus on ecology from Queens. Then didn't know what I was going to do with an ecology degree, so traveled for a couple of years and tried to find myself. Ended up living at Yonge and Eglinton in downtown Toronto and waitering at a local pizza place to put myself through my master's degrees. I did a master's degree. I did a master in environmental health. And environmental health is an area that is kind of focused on assessing human health impacts related to occupational and environmental contaminants. And that served me really well. That got me on a plane, and for 10 years or so I lived in British Columbia and kind of cut my teeth in sawmills and pulp mills and a lot of the natural resource sector out in British Columbia, doing environmental impact assessments and things like that. I worked for an engineering firm, and in and around late 90s, early 2000, this concept of corporate social responsibility came out, and I said, you know what, there's something there. And through a lot of research and hard work, made it into the management consulting realm of Deloitte and started developing CSR strategy projects for big corporations, Tim Hortons being one of them. And Mike, I thank you for your definition of sustainability. And you basically picked the words right out of my mouth. Because again, I was going to reiterate it's different for everyone, so I don't have to go into that as part of my speech. But certainly the one word that I would add to that definition, and you did mention it, is it's a journey, right? Sustainability for any company, particularly a restaurant company, and particularly like Tim Hortons, is very, very complex. And anyone that could tell you that sustainability, implementing and executing at any type of organization is quick and easy, they're dead wrong. It deals with so many different factors. And our organization as a company has been on a very long journey. We're 48 years old. Sustainability has been part of the company formally as a strategy since 2008, 2009 when I joined. And that strategy was based on a lot of different factors, primarily a really robust assessment of what the company was doing internally, what leaders in sustainability, not only in restaurant companies, but companies in all different sectors were doing. Developing strategic priorities that were linked to the business's strategic priorities, right? And as well, doing a very robust risk and opportunities assessment on how we could target driving value into the business on the initiatives that we were choosing to focus on. And that was 4 years ago. And I can say that we've done a lot, and I'm going to share some of that stuff with you. And a lot of it is very good, but there have been significant speed bumps and challenges along the way. And through my presentation, I'm going to be a little bit provocative on those kinds of things. It's not a quick fix. So I'm going to highlight some of those successes and accomplishments, share some of our challenges. But before I do that, I just give you a bit of a background historically and contextually on our company. I know many of you probably know our brand very well, especially if you grew up here in Canada. But there's a lot about the company that you might not know, and before I do that, or before I get into the initiatives, I wanted to share a couple of videos with you that get to the historical aspect of our company. So for the young students in the room, this first video, I dug into the archives. It's actually in what's called black and white. And some of you were Tim Horton, the man, Tim Horton, the hockey player from back in the 60s in Hockey Night in Canada. We think it's the only time he was interviewed and we captured it. It's actually up on our website. After that video is one of the companies at that time, his company, Tim Hortons Donuts, first TV commercials. This is a gas, it's hilarious. And look closely at the end because for those of you with gray hair, you might see some old hockey and CFL football celebrities in the video. It's really quite entertaining. So I guess what I advise you to do is take a look at Tim Horton as he talks, his demeanor, because that's what I'm going to pick up after the video.
I suppose the only thing that could influence my retiring or giving up hockey would be that things are quite hectic these days trying to combine business with hockey. And if the business that I am involved in continues as it is, I may have to consider retirement before I would like to.
That's the Tim Horton Donut and Orange.
The Tim Horton Donuts Board, and it's very nice to be able to let me get a word in about it. If I may take the opportunity, I'd like to, I'd like to say thank you to all you nice people in the Hamilton and Burlington districts and in Guelph and Brantford and Kitchener-Waterloo for enjoying their donuts. I'd like to thank you for paying for having anything out of it.
A lot of good reasons to stop for coffee and donuts, like chocolate dipped donuts, orange twist, donuts with whipped cream. Of course, Tim Horton's service is always friendly and efficient. We're open 7 days a week, and the coffee is great. Yes, at Tim Hortons, there are a lot of good reasons to stop for coffee and donuts. But most of all, you'll meet the happiest people.
Did anyone see Pat Quinn there? So that's the foundation. That's our founder, Tim Horton. Okay. I don't know if you picked up on it, but I did. He was a very humble fellow, not boastful. He didn't play that way on the ice, as my father used to tell me. But he was a very genuine, honest individual. When he met up with Lion Joyce, who was a cop, former cop, we had a hockey player and an entrepreneur running our company. We founded it. They met up 1965 or so, and they became business partners in the truest sense. They split everything 50-50 over the years, and Tim Horton died in 1974. By that time, they had 40 restaurants, primarily in southwestern Ontario. The fact that they came together says a lot about our culture. We remain today very humble. As I share some of the initiatives with you, other companies with this deep, rich history of helping communities that are pretty much baked into our DNA would have been telling their stories and doing progressive PR for very many years. This is just something that the company does, and employees and our restaurant owners are incredibly proud of it. But we're also very typically Canadian. It's not like we're out there talking and boasting about it. How did the company grow? It grew very fast. By 1985, the chain had about 200 restaurants. 1990, that was up to 500. 5 years after that, it was up to 1,000. And then another 5 years up to that, 2,000 restaurants. Okay. Today, we have over 4,000 restaurants in 5 different countries across the globe. I didn't know if you realized that. And this banner, or this advertisement kind of says what we're up to. 2 billion cups of coffee on an annual basis. Right now, $7 billion in sales projected, 4,000 restaurants. The picture on the right is a grand opening of our first restaurant in Dubai that happened last year. We now have 11 restaurants throughout the Emirates, and they're going in like gangbusters over there. You'll notice a little bit of difference in the brand too. It says Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop. Well, in any other country other than Canada, no one really knows what Tim Hortons is. It could be a car mechanics or a dry cleaner or whatever. So our brand has evolved such that it's calling it out in the international marketplace, in the US and internationally. So we've grown significantly. There have been some milestones and evolution, but when you talk about restaurants and food, that's where a lot of the innovation has happened. Okay, so if you think back to that video back in the 60s, Tim Hortons was basically bums on stools, filled with cigarette smoke, and all you could get was coffee and donuts, right? Would we be around today if that was still the case? Absolutely not, right? Talk about evolution, talk about innovation. Sustainability is about longevity, and from a business perspective, the brand needs to evolve and be innovative. And for any restaurant company, if you're not doing that, if that restaurant company is not staying relevant with consumers' needs and desires and trends, you're not going to be around, right? So from a product mix that was basically donuts and coffee, now to a very progressive menu, and as well, different store formats. We have a philosophy: we will fit anywhere. You'll see Tim Hortons on university campuses, in hospital lobbies, kiosks, gas stations. This fit anywhere philosophy has helped the company grow and grow to what it is today. What I haven't mentioned is that the franchisees, our restaurant owners, are absolutely pivotal for success. They are the face of our company. So we have about just over 2,000 corporate employees based in Oakville. Actually, our national distribution center is here in Guelph. We employ over 600 employees here in Guelph. And over 99% of the restaurants, as you drive across Canada and the US, are independently owned. What's the profile of that restaurant owner? They're typically husband and wife, partners that are owner-operators, okay? They're invested in the business, they're serving coffee and baked goods behind the counter, they're running their business, and they're entrepreneurs. They make the business decisions for their own restaurants. And that is a huge opportunity for them. That's one of the reasons why our brand is so successful. That is also one of the reasons, as I'll explain in a little bit, that it's so challenging to roll out corporate programs like sustainability for the organization. But that's kind of the magic of what we're dealing with as a restaurant company. So they're central to our success, and this partnership we have together with our restaurant owners is helped the brand tremendously. So when we talk about sustainability, and again, thank you, Mike, for your definition, it does mean longevity for us. It does mean about investing in the economic, social, and environmental pillars in a balanced way. Because we feel if you're too hard on the economic side and driving revenue, and not enough or equal effort is invested in social and environmental, your whole framework's going to get out of balance. And what I appreciate about this term sustainability is that it is complex. What we tried to do when we rolled out our strategy was simplify it so that an everyday restaurant owner that I may interact with would understand what it means, and an everyday customer that doesn't have the benefit of, say, going to university and learning about sustainability, Joe or Jane Canada, our typical customer, can understand what sustainability means. And for us, it's making a true difference. Making a true difference for individuals, communities, and the planet every day. And that's how we frame sustainability, and that's how we're communicating on sustainability. Individuals is our economics pillar, communities, obviously the social, and the planet. And we've been sustainability reporting now for a few years. We've developed commitments and goals and are measuring our performance. All this is available online on our sustainability report. And we've been doing a lot of great work. You know, all these efforts are paying off. It's very validating. We're on the Dow Jones Sustainability Index and the New York Stock Exchange. We're leading disclosure with the Carbon Disclosure Project. You know, the list goes on and on and on. But at its heart, this is what we're talking about. And this is how we have to try and change behavior within our organization to more sustainable behavior and outside of our organization as well. So I want to share some of our initiatives. I can't talk about them all. We certainly don't have enough time to pass that around. But let's talk about nutrition. Nutrition is key to our individual's pillar. Okay? The #1 spot on our website, year by year by year, of hits and people going to is our nutrition section of our website. Absolutely. And it's important because our customers, people say they want to eat healthy these days. Again, we wouldn't be around if we were just selling indulgent baked goods and donuts, etc. So we've been doing a lot with respect to nutrition. We have a sodium reduction initiative underway. We've successfully reduced sodium in our soups over the last couple of years by close to 30%. Our deli meats are hovering around 50% reduction in sodium. We were compliant with all the proposed trans fat regulations and guidelines and standards 3 years before the 2009 deadline here in Canada. So lots have been done. Again, our company, being humble as it is, probably hasn't communicated on those aspects as best it could. Right? But here's the challenge. People also want indulgent snacks. Right? People want the sweets. And that's pretty core to our business, isn't it? You may be surprised, though, because donuts, and that sweet part of our menu now, makes up a very small portion of our revenue. Coffee is driving our revenue, and the big sandwiches and the soups and whatnot. So lots of innovative products as well, right? Oatmeal, the wrap snackers that we have, the sandwiches, the soups, and the chilies. We're much more, we have a much broader menu now, and that is going to continue to evolve because that's a core strategy of our company. Camp and the Tim Hortons Children's Foundation. When Tim Horton died in 1974, Ron Joyce wanted to leave a legacy for Tim Horton because of his love for children. He created the first Tim Hortons camp up in Parry Sound that year. 200 campers went through. Our campers serve economically disadvantaged kids that are sponsored by our individual restaurant owners across the chain. This is a fantastic program. So our restaurant owners engage with community groups like schools and Big Brothers and Girls and Boys Clubs. They identify 2 children per restaurant to send to camp, to give them an experience of a lifetime. I don't know if any of you have been to one of our camps. We've got 5 in Canada and 1 in the US. They are like world-class resorts for children. The accommodation is spectacular. And it's all because of what Ron Joyce wanted to give to these kids and give them the experience of a lifetime. They learn about confidence and leadership and independence. And those are life skills that we feel will build on a child's success moving forward. We're on track to support about 15,000 kids this year through the camps. And that's just in the summer and summer sessions alone. But again, we have a challenge, okay? We know we're doing great things with the kids at the camps, and the restaurant owners are engaged in the communities as such. But 1 in 3 children in Canada are economically disadvantaged. This is a never-ending type of initiative that is part of the fabric of our organization. Our charitable foundation, the foundation has a $20 million operating budget, okay? And the funds for our charity are raised primarily by our restaurant owners and on our big signature event called Camp Day, where you buy a cup of coffee, all those proceeds go to the camp. So, a bit of a challenge. We're doing great things, but how can we continue doing that, okay? It's particularly in tough economic times. Our Tim Hortons Coffee Partnership. We also are investing in families and communities in the regions where we source our coffee. I could do a whole lecture on this. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but it's about giving back to the families in the communities where we source our coffee. The unfortunate thing about coffee in the world of coffee is that the majority of farmers that produce coffee are very small holder farmers, and they live in poverty. We did a bunch of surveys with our guests and our stakeholders back when we created the coffee partnership, and we said, what about fair trade certification and all these certifications? And particularly our guests said, and our owner said, I have no idea what that means. And I don't know if I would support paying more for all this coffee, but I do want to help families in need. I think we should do something about it. So after a lot of development, we created the Tim Hortons Coffee Partnership, and it's based at the grassroots level, helping individual farmers improve their lives through technical assistance in their business, in agronomy, in sustainable environmental management. We help from a youth and education perspective in educating kids through our NGO partners like Junior Achievement on sustainable business practices and trying to encourage them to remain on the farm and help their parents extend the life of their business. Is fair trade certification a gold standard? That's yet to be seen. A lot of the certifications, they have to. We're all working towards the same thing, to help income of coffee farmers, but they're not all measured equally. Okay? In most of these programs, farmers have to pay for the certification to be part of the certification programs. These farmers are making typically sometimes less than $5,000 a year, okay, in annual income. Certification can be as expensive as $3,000 US a year just to sell your coffee through fair trade. So something's broken about that for us. It doesn't meet the core philosophy of what we're trying to do is help sustainable businesses grow. If you grow a higher quality coffee, you're going to be rewarded by the market with a higher price. Lots of stuff we can talk about here. Again, I wanted to share. It's all not black and white. It's quite a challenge when you talk about a complex supply chain. Here's an elephant in the room for most of us, and that is our cup. Okay? Of course, everyone wants our cup to be recyclable. I have to confirm that it is. It always has been. The challenge is that not every municipality will accept it for recycling, and we can't call it recyclable if the mills and facilities and the municipalities will not accept it. Okay? It's a big challenge, and we're working hard because the consumer, you, gets confused. You can recycle this in a select Tim Hortons restaurant, but you can't throw it in your blue box. Why not? Then it must not be recyclable. Right? So over 10 years, we've been working with mills. We've been working with recycling facilities and organizations to input our cup into their recipe to produce recycled pulp. And it's starting to work. We're starting to see that. Okay? We've also been doing great things on that cup as well. You might not know, but all our cups are sourced with 100% FSC certified paper. Okay? I don't think any other coffee company is doing that to the extent we are. Our bins at our restaurants, you don't see these award-winning recycling bins. They're manufactured here in Ontario. They're award-winning, and as well, they're made from recycled material, which is great. You don't see them in every restaurant because not every restaurant, not every municipality has the infrastructure to accept the diverted waste, and that's a bit of a challenge as well for us. We have done a lot of work. 850 of our restaurants are diverting our cup and other paper products. And most recently, last year, we closed the loop. We're calling it closing the loop on a recycling, where we're encouraging our guests to bring back their paper products. We'll accept them, and then we're recycling those cups and other paper products into our carrier trays. I've got a video that describes that way better than I have, and I'll show it to you now.
I'm Carol Patterson, Manager of Environmental Affairs at Tim Hortons. Our team was involved in the launch of the Cup to Tray recycling program in Nova Scotia. The Cup to Tray program is really our program that allows hot beverage cups to be returned to our restaurants, recycled, and then remanufactured into carry-out trays that we can use again in our restaurants. Closed-loop recycling is really that opportunity to take something from your restaurants that's become a waste material and to have it remanufactured into something else that you're using in your restaurants. The program started through a partnership with Scotia Recycling and CKF in Nova Scotia.
2 years ago, after overcoming many obstacles, Scotia Recycling helped Tim Hortons remove cups from the waste bin at the restaurants across Nova Scotia to be recycled. Now, together with their manufacturing partner CKF, they've succeeded in using Tim Hortons cups in making their takeout trays. They're the first to make this happen.
Behind the scenes, it's really important to include all of the stakeholders along the value chain. The program was made possible through the commitment of our restaurant owners, team members, recycling processors, manufacturers, as well as the local municipalities. Across Canada, we are always looking for opportunities to divert cups from the landfill, and we're really looking to the Cup to Tray program to either find new opportunities to recycle the cups in markets where we don't, or enhance the programs that we're currently offering. We know our restaurant owners are saying absolutely they're getting cups back. Tim Hortons became the first quick service restaurant in North America to close the loop on recycling and take a product that they use in their operations and recycle it into a product that is used again. For me, making a true difference means working with a company that takes a leadership role in the environment and protecting the communities that they operate in.
So, just one example of how, through a lot of hard work, that was about 3 or 4 years in trying to coordinate that. We chose Nova Scotia because it's somewhat of a landlocked region where we were able to leverage the relationships we had within the value chain. Mike, you're really going to love this one. So, obviously solving this cup issue and the recycling issue is really key to our brand. That's because, again, for some reason, our guests, when they leave a restaurant, some of them anyway, throw them in the ditch, right? And litter, because we, we're somewhat of a victim of our own success. 8 out of 10 cups of brewed coffee in Canada are Tim Hortons cups, and so, some of our customers choose to litter, right? And we're focused on that. That's very important to our brand. It ratchets up to reputation, etc. But if we were to take a true impact approach, right? Why are we doing this when a cup only represents 5% of our waste? Organics represents 65% of our waste, right? That's the food waste and our coffee grinds coming out of the back of the restaurant. And guess who pays for that? Our restaurant owner pays for that because they, as an independent business owner, okay, pay for the tipping fees and the haulage by weight for the waste management companies coming down. We are focusing on it. It's a big initiative for us, okay? 450 of our restaurants are diverting organics, both at the front of the house, you might have saw the bin in the video, and at the back of the house. We have a really neat program where we dewater our coffee grinds. We have these specially created buckets where they throw the spent coffee grinds on that. Coffee grinds are being diverted for compost. Anyone seen those Javalog products at Home Depot? They're those faux wood chemical logs. A lot of them are now made with our coffee grinds. They don't smell like coffee, unfortunately, but it's a great end-of-life solution for grinds. Researchers right here at the University of Guelph are using our grinds from the university restaurants to take a look at biodiesel opportunities and in bioplastics as well. Lots of innovative stuff going on. But the key is for us now to roll these organics programs out where municipalities can accept them, okay? And really, really encourage our owners that this saves you money, right? Because we've done a really good job of reducing the waste. Back when the restaurant owners would scratch bake donuts and stuff at 3 o'clock in the morning, there would be a lot of waste because they have to estimate how much they would have to make. Now with our Always Fresh baking system, waste is quite minimal actually, but it's the stuff coming back. Leadership in energy environmental design, or LEED. A lot of people say, why aren't all buildings LEED certified? It saves money. Well, they're far more costly to build, and we have to find the right balance of these energy and LEED certified initiatives for us to input them into our standard restaurant designs. We are playing with it. We have about 6 LEED registered restaurants right now in Canada and the US for certification. Our plans are to have about 30 more in the next 3 to 4 years. And we're using it as a learning lab for initiatives to input right into our standard designs, so our restaurant owners don't have to pay those extra costs for the initial certification itself. Really great program. We're doing great things. We've got solar panels for hot water and PV, you know, all the low-flow toilets and LED lighting and heat recovery systems and locally sourced brick and millwork. All the millwork in our restaurants is FOR certified as well. So we're doing a lot of great things. The trick now is to find where it's valuable to our restaurant owners, because when you buy a restaurant franchise and become a franchisee, guess what? You're paying for the construction of your restaurant. Okay? So those were some initiatives that I wanted to highlight to you. I could go on and on and on. I know we're short of time. The company is advancing at a pretty quick pace, both from an expansion perspective, but also for us trying to embed sustainability right across the organization. We've had a lot of quick wins in the first few years, primarily getting our corporate house in order, right? Doing the carbon footprinting, the waste reduction, the reporting, et cetera, et cetera. The next few years are going to be even more of a challenge because we have a whole new organization to do, and that's our restaurant owners' businesses and our family franchisees. So with that, I'll guide you to our online sustainability report. It's there, it's quite interactive, lots of videos, breaks down our 3 pillars with respect to what we're doing. And as well, if you want to reach out to me directly, there's an email on there called makingasuredifference@timhortons.com. That comes right into my inbox. I can connect with you that way as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Tim.